Welcome to the Nothing Much Just Chillin' Show with your hosts Emma and Julio. Nothing much, just chillin' show. Nothing much, just a chillin'.
Welcome back to NMJC, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Emma, and this is my podcast. And it's kind of not a podcast. It's kind of more of a FaceTime between friends. Okay, we're all friends here. We're all sharing secrets, swapping stories. I mean, you guys can share with me what you want to share. My DMs are always open. If you have my number, you can text me, call me, anything, okay? Just talk to me, guys. But I appreciate the comments on YouTube. Love seeing comments on YouTube. I have gained a couple new subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty awesome. I was at like 25 subscribers for a very long time, which is like such a small amount, but it's not small because if you think of 25 people in the room, even if 5 of them are like 5 of my YouTube accounts, if you think of 20 people in the room, it's still a lot of people. And now we have 30 subscribers, so pretty exciting things happening here at NMJC. But yeah, this is Nothing Much Just Chillin', and here we chill. And I was actually about to post an Instagram photo. Posting on Instagram is it's weird because it was brutal for a while there, but now that like Instagram doesn't show anybody my post, I feel like there's all this pressure off because I'm like, oh, nobody's gonna see it. I mean, people still see it, obviously, but I just have like way less engagement, but like I don't care because I'm like, oh, well, not many people are seeing it, so I'm just gonna post whatever I want, whenever I want. Like I'm not adhering to like, times where you should post or best practices or like anything like that. I'm just like posting what I want when I want. I go through phases with Instagram where one week I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so on my game. I'm making so much content. And then I have a week where I'm like, I don't want to post anything. Like even if I have like pictures to post, I'm just like, I don't feel like it. But I did want to post this picture that Julio took of me last night because I think my pigtails look really cute. But I have no idea what to caption this fucking picture, guys. So if you see it on my Instagram, just know I was fucking struggling. I don't know what to caption photos. Like I wish there just wasn't. I mean, I guess you can. I guess I could just post it. I could post it without a caption, obviously. It's just a picture of me with my pigtails and the sunset. I don't know. Every fucking caption that I think of is dumb. So maybe I'll think of a caption by the end of this podcast. But I wanted to touch on last week's episode. I posted it late. I posted it at like Friday at like 4 p.m. Pacific time because that's when I had finished editing it. I don't know. I meant to record the episode a lot earlier last week and time got away from me. Days really, they get away from me and I really need to work on that. I really need to work on time management, but we are not talking about all my flaws in this episode. After I posted that episode, I was thinking about the stories that I talked about where I said the names of people that I remembered having these conversations about or remembered what they said to me or what I said to them. And I was thinking like how many people, well, first off, I was thinking like if any of those people were going to listen to the podcast and be like, oh my God, she's talking about me. I don't think anybody that I mentioned listens to the podcast. So I think we're fine. But not like I need to be like fine with people being okay with me talking about them, because I think if I were to say something about somebody like negatively, I would use like a fake name, but I also just don't want to put out like that negativity when I'm talking about like people from my past or people from my life. Obviously there's certain stories that I think hold like a learning lesson, and that's why I'll share it if it is like comes across as them being negative or me being negative in the situation. But yeah, I was just thinking like, I wonder if they remember this. Like I wonder if they remember this conversation with me. And then I started thinking about all the other conversations that I remember from my childhood and growing up, and how many I probably don't remember that other people do of me. And I mean, honestly, I probably remember most out of all my friends because I think they were under the influence a lot of times. And there are certain memories that I have where that person just won't ever have that memory. They won't ever know like how much they hurt me or what they did to me because they were intoxicated. They were under the influence and had no idea what was going on, and they were blackout and don't remember how poorly they treated me. And that's also something to think about. If you're listening to this and you have a memory of me, good or bad, let me know. Let me know if I was fucking terrible to you. I'll apologize right now. I'm so sorry because I have my flaws. I have a lot of fucking flaws. And I know that I am the villain in a lot of people's stories. And that's okay. You have to be okay with being the villain in life, because if you aren't, you're just gonna like look back and be like, oh my God, that person probably hates me. And they probably do. But like, that's not your problem. It's really, really not. You don't have to be in control of how others perceive you, especially when their perception of you was from a past you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even who I was last week. The people from your past, from growing up, like if you're in your 20s now and you're like out of college, like they don't know you unless you've remained friends with them, obviously, but they have no idea who you are. They have no idea your ideals now, your morals, like how you live your life, what you do at your fucking job. Like, I barely know what Julio does at his job. But yeah, and it's just crazy because like I have my own perceptions of people from growing up, like how they treated me or how our conversations went. But I know that when I think back on it, I'm like, they're probably a very different person now. Or if they're the same, then whatever. But yeah, I'm never like, oh my God, I fucking hate that person still. Like, I'm holding a grudge against them because they probably changed. You know, I've changed. I know I've changed. I've changed so fucking much. Like, I didn't even become vegan until I was a sophomore in college. And that is a big personality trait for me. And it's a thing that like is very important in my friendships. Like, food is such a central part of relationships with people. And if somebody is disrespectful towards veganism or disrespectful towards me being vegan or Julio being vegan, or they just aren't down to like try vegan food, even though it's not like some crazy thing. It's like fruits and vegetables and grains, right? Normal shit. If they're mean about it, if they're rude, they make jokes or whatever, like I just don't have those people in my life. I simply don't. And you can choose who you want in your life and who you don't. You really can. It's all up to you. I think soon I'm going to do a whole podcast about friendships, adult friendships and friendship breakups and creating boundaries in friendships, like that kind of thing. Like I'm going to have a podcast episode on that soon. And now I'm like thinking like, should I just do that today? But I feel like I'm not ready. I'm not ready to get into it today. Let me know what things you would want me to talk about if I did talk about that topic, / what advice that I could help you with, because I have been through a lot of friendship breakups. I feel like I have a lot of friends, but I just don't have a lot of people who are really like close to me. And then sometimes I'll have people who are really close to me, like I feel so comfortable around, but they're not people that either live close to me or that I even like talk to a lot. And that's fine because I like being alone, and I know that Julio provides for me like all the relationships I pretty much need. Like, he's my best friend in the whole world. Like, I've never been treated better by a person than by Julio. There are people and friends from my past that I would still do anything for. Like, I still hold so much like love for them. And then some people where I'm like, they did not treat me well. They treated me very shitty, but I just like put up with it because it's all I knew. And as you grow older, you just know, well, hopefully you understand your worth. I'm still figuring that out in friendships. But yeah, the more you grow older, the more you know yourself, the more you know the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. And I think that is really important. And who I want to surround myself with is positive people. And I'm very picky on who I decide to like hang out with, spend time with, give my energy to, because I do not have a lot of energy these days. Obviously, you guys know me pretty well by these podcasts, but I've not been doing well, to be honest, for a very long time. And I don't feel any sort of way like saying that and like putting that out there. Well, one, because like I just have like a very small audience right now, obviously, but two, I just can't bullshit. Like I just can't not be honest. I really can't. And I have been trying so hard to make things better in my life, to make my days better, to fill my days with the things that I like so I don't get down too much. And actually this week, I'm just proud of myself for even recording this right now, because this is a week where I would probably be like, I don't want to put anything out there. I don't want to post anything. I don't want to record a podcast. Like I just don't feel like it, because it is the week before, or the like a couple days before I get my period. For the guys out there, thank you for listening, by the way, but for the guys out there, the days before your period or the week before your period, women are usually really emotional and sad, and I think I might have PMDD, but yeah, I just get like really down before my period, and every like 3 months or so it is like really bad. Like most times it's like, I don't know, I can deal with it. I might like snap at Julio a time or two, but he always understands. But I feel like every 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I have a really bad week where I am just so fucking sad. It's important to me to be transparent in how I'm feeling, because I know that a lot of my friends who listen to this feel the same way. Maybe it's not because of period symptoms, you know, if you're a guy and you're like, oh, I just have weeks where I can't fucking do anything. I can't fucking get out of bed. I just have no motivation for life, and it feels like the world could end right now, and I'd be like, okay, that's it. That's fine. Whatever. Things can happen that just like get you fucking down, and it's okay to be sad, but I'm showing up today for you guys and for myself. That was a whole thing. Sorry. I did not mean to do that today. I did not mean to talk about that really today, but I guess it's just what was on my mind. So, okay. So what I was going to talk about today is Coachella. I have never been to Coachella. It honestly, it looks like fun. It doesn't even look like fun to me, honestly, because of like how much I know about it now, and like how hard it is to like get someplace to stay, and the fucking like shit on the wall of the porta potties, and the lines, the Ubers, the $200-$400 Ubers, the losing your friends and not having service. It seems like not a good time. If you don't know, Frank Ocean was, because he just announced it today that he is canceling his Weekend 2 set because he has a sprained ankle. So do I. Or I did. I think it's better now, I think. So he just announced that he was canceling his Weekend 2 performance. His Weekend 1 performance was very controversial, and I totally get both sides. I get the people defending Frank, and I get the people who are really upset. And honestly, I'm just grateful that I didn't go, because if I went to Coachella, I would literally just be going for Frank Ocean, because I'm not really a fan of anybody else who was on the lineup for this year. I really wanted to go to Coachella this year. I really did, because I wanted to see Frank Ocean. He's one of my favorite artists. He's everybody's favorite artist, but whatever. It's the most basic thing you can say. Oh, what kind of music do you like? Oh, Frank Ocean. Have you heard Channel Orange? Every year I'm like, oh, it would be cool to go to Coachella. It really would. But there are just several factors that prevent me from going every year. And the numbers 1 to 10 of those factors are, I don't have the money. Obviously, you can do it on a budget, but it's just an expensive thing. I mean, music festivals in general are very expensive and you have to prepare a lot for them, and it just seems like a fucking headache most of the time. And also, I wouldn't go to a music festival just because I liked one of the acts. I'll wait for Frank to tour someday. It'll be fine. And if I don't, whatever, because his music is meant to be listened to by yourself or with a partner or with a group of friends, in a car, in your room. I don't think it's meant to be at a festival. But his performance on Sunday is very controversial because he didn't perform many songs, and there was a lot of like him just lip syncing, just singing along to his tracks, like not actually like singing into the microphone, just fucking vibing. And that's totally fine if you're not the headliner of the biggest music festival in the world. Even though I'm glad that I didn't spend the money to do that, I know there's a lot of people who did. They spent their hard-earned money. Some people probably budgeted so fucking hard to go see him. I feel very bad for those people. I mean, not that bad. Like they could afford to go to Coachella, so I don't feel that bad. I honestly think it's on Coachella. Like Coachella should have had better communication with Frank and his team to know that like he wasn't gonna be up to the task. I was about to come on here and like kind of rant a little bit about the people defending Frank, but I really think it's on Coachella. I just can't believe their team wasn't smart enough to have a plan B in place or have better communication with Frank and his team to know what was going on and to have things be very clear in the contract. It's just on him and Coachella's communication behind the scenes, really. Like that's something went wrong there. Obviously something's still wrong because he canceled his Weekend 2 set. I bet if he just like, I mean, whatever, he has a sprained ankle, but I bet if he just sat on a stool up there and had the camera on him the whole time so that everyone could see that he was the one singing and he just sang his songs, I feel like that would be beautiful and it would just be a huge sing-along. Oh, there was so much hype for the performance, but there's also so much potential for him to do something really fucking cool. Like it's Coachella, you're headlining Coachella, man. Like that is so, it's epic. How weird was it though that Justin Bieber was defending him like right away when like he hasn't defended Hailey Bieber once, and Hailey Bieber had to go to Selena Gomez to ask for help. It's like, bro, I love Justin Bieber. He was my first ever celebrity crush. Like I fucking love that guy. It's just weird. It's weird behavior that he did not feel the need to defend his own wife when his own wife was going through shit on the internet and made her go to your ex-girlfriend for help. Like that is, I mean, girls supporting girls, but like that is nonsense. So instead of going to Coachella, Julio and I stayed home and we binged the new Netflix series Beef. I said that I wanted to watch that last week. Oh, I also said I wanted to watch Air, and we did in fact watch Air. We went to the movies on Saturday and saw it at like 10 a.m. and it was so great. Definitely go see Air if you haven't. It's a really amazing film. Anyways, so we saw the entirety of Beef. It's actually getting a lot of bad press right now because one of the actors, David Cho, he plays the cousin in the series. He is under fire right now because of things he said in a podcast. Like he said some like really nasty, inappropriate shit. I'm not going to really go into that, but it's really sad. It's really sad that now this amazing show is getting all this horrible press. And what is so annoying is that Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, like they knew that this guy was like that and still had him on the show. But I get people can change. Maybe. I don't know. I fucking hate men. Why do they ruin everything? I was about to get on here and be like, love Beef. It was the best show ever. Like I cried. I laughed. I closed my eyes at certain parts. So traumatizing for certain parts are so bad. So hard to watch. But I absolutely loved it. It's just like on its own level, really. I was kind of comparing it to White Lotus a couple of times when I was talking about it with Julio and other friends. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like White Lotus-y, like how, you just never know what's going to happen. And like once you think that there's a line that like the show won't cross, they cross it. And I feel like I've been watching a lot of content like that, like Narcos. That was brutal. Controversy aside, Beef is really fucking good, and I would suggest watching it. Oh, okay. Another controversial figure that I want to talk about is John Mulaney, because I saw him last night at the Improv. It was fucking amazing. He was so fucking funny. I've actually seen John Mulaney before, not doing stand-up, but he had a show. What the fuck was it called? Was it just called the John Mulaney Show? I don't know, but I went to a taping of it, and so I saw him there and saw him perform the show, but that was in 2014. Like, that was so long ago. But I've never seen him do stand-up. But obviously, I've seen all of his specials. Like, he's so fucking funny. But then all the stuff came out about how he's an addict, and he's getting divorced, and now he's having a baby, or had a baby with Olivia Munn, and is still with her, I think. I don't know. What the fuck ever. Like, there's a lot of controversy around him. But, people make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I would not say that about someone who did something actually like very terrible. I mean, I'm sure he did like many, many terrible things. I don't know. You never want to put somebody on a pedestal, but besides the point, Julio and I don't know if you guys noticed, but we go to the Improv a lot, and that's because we get emails from the Improv. We get their like newsletter, and it will say like who's on the lineup, and then it'll also give you like discount codes and free tickets. So whenever there's a good show where we can get free tickets or discounted tickets for, we usually end up going because it's a blast. We love going to comedy shows. And so yesterday we were looking at the newsletter, and it was a good lineup. Eliza was on. Eliza Schlez, I just don't know how to pronounce her last name. Oh, she's so fucking funny though. I love her so much. Schlesinger, something like that. Eliza, perfect. Her set was amazing. I adore her. And then Jay Farrow, who was really good. He used to be on SNL, and we didn't see John Mulaney on the lineup. It just said like special guest. But once Julio put in the discount code, it said John Mulaney, and we're like, okay, we're going. And that was like 3 hours before the show. So we spontaneously go like all the time, which is why it's like hard to plan with people, because I always get friends being like, oh my God, let me know the next time you're going to the Improv, like the next show. And I'm like, I usually decide the day of. I usually decide on all my plans the day of. There are very few things that I plan out. I don't know. Julio and I are very like go with the flow people. Maybe that's why we don't have many friends, is because we're really bad at planning things with other people, because we're just like, oh, you want to do this? Yeah, sure. And then we don't think to invite people because we're like, oh, it's like so last minute. Like they probably won't be available, or they probably won't want to, because a lot of people like time to mentally prepare for something, and I just like can't give that to people. I'm a very moody person, so I never know when I'm gonna be like down to do something. So if I'm down to do something, I'm down to do it right then. So I usually don't burden people with my like last minuteness. But anyways, that was really cool. So we saw John Mulaney last night for $15, and he was amazing. He didn't do too many jokes about his addiction or his new relationship or his divorce. Like he had new jokes that I haven't heard before on his specials, but they were also like so, I don't know, they just weren't like controversial. They were just like really solid. I mean, he's just really solid as a comedian in general, right? Okay, I kind of want to end this just because I kind of talked about like how down I've been lately on this podcast. I want to end it with, I love you guys. I really do. I love you guys, and I'm here for anyone who needs it. And I'm making these podcasts for all of you, and I'm making them for myself too, because I want to become a better person. And I just want to, I don't know, I just want to grow. I just want to grow as a person. I want to grow in my relationships. I want to grow in my career. I'm just in a big growing phase right now. And just because I feel down right now doesn't mean that there's not an up close by. That sounded so fucking stupid. There's ups and downs in life, and and throughout the month, right? Being a woman, your cycle is like, oh, you're fine, and then you're not, and then you're really not, and then you're in pain, and then you're fine again, and then you're not, and then you're really not, and then you're in pain, and then you're fine again. Like, oh my God. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chilling with me, and have an amazing fucking weekend, whatever, whenever you're listening to this. Just have a great day, guys. Have a great day. Talk to me, text me, call me, DM me, comment on my Instagrams, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.
Nothing much, just a chillin'.